Welcome to Ask SAR. Our question for today is, why are boundaries important? We're building on last week's episode about what boundaries are. Just as a quick refresher, boundaries are a separation between me and you and between you and me. They're what allow us to define ourselves as different and unique. Therefore, they fulfill very important roles in sex, in relationships, and importantly, within identity and a person's identity within themselves. So, what makes boundaries important? Well, there's a number of things. Mostly it's the roles in that they fulfill. Safety, first one we'll talk about. A good boundary allows us to feel safe, not just within ourselves in terms of the world, but within ourselves in terms of in relationship with other people. Another important note is a good boundary allows us to have consent. What does that mean? Consent is my ability to say yes to something. If I have a good boundary, it means I can say no. If I'm able to say no, it means I'm able to say yes. Boundaries create a solid structure for us. Think of boundaries as a line, but it can be a line that goes all the way around us. It protects us. It gives us a framework from which to act. And when we have that framework, it allows us then to step forward, to take a risk, to move an edge, gives us freedom to explore our world and to explore other people. Boundaries give us a warning. If someone steps on our boundary or steps over our boundary, we know it. It's a visceral feeling in the body, an emotion, a realization. Doesn't matter how you feel it or realize it, it is a warning, and that tells us we need to do something. Maybe it means we need to reinforce the boundary we have. Maybe it just means we need to sit down and have a discussion with people. Maybe it's a little more complex and we need to negotiate what's going to happen and what's going to happen next. But that warning is what's important, and boundaries give us that. Boundaries strengthen understanding. If I know where my boundaries are and I know where your boundaries are, you now know more about me and I now know more about you. If we talk about it, now we have an understanding between us and we can move forward and have an even greater conversation and more understanding that comes after. Finally, and most importantly, boundaries strengthen connections. That may seem a little bit backwards to most people. I have a boundary and I want to be connected to you, but it's true. If I know where I'm at, if I feel strong in my boundaries and my place, and you know where you're at and you feel strong in your boundaries in your place, now we can meet together from a place of strength, a place of security, a place of safety, and that strengthens connections between people. You've been listening to Ask SAR. I'm Sar Surmic. If you like what you saw, great. If you think other people would like it, please share. If you want to hear more, you can subscribe. We do this every week. If you have any questions, please give them to us. I love to get your questions. The more questions we have, the more I can answer and the more interesting it'll be.